Hello, everybody. This is Antinatalist, and I've got my first virus of the season. And I've had many viruses in my day, and it seems like I get about 2 per year, and it's always in November and always in January or February. And it's usually around Thanksgiving. So it looks like this particular episode will not affect my Thanksgiving, which is good. Thank God for blessings, huh? But I really hate being sick. And, they can be predicted. Sicknesses can be predicted. It's like clockwork. It's like, as soon as the allergy season goes away, and the fall and the leaves and the goldenrod and the mold or dust or whatever causes aggravation to sensitive people like me. And then the cold weather comes along, and the gray days, the damp days, the rain, the wind. And today was our first snow, and it was a light dusting of snow, but it was really pretty. It was enough to just stick on the branches and the leaves, and there's still leaves on the trees, some of the maple and oak trees. And so I've been having a lot of fun this season with collecting leaves, and I've been going to a very special place that I really like, and eventually I'll do a video from this place. It is really close to my house, and I've been taking my dogs, and been collecting some leaves there, and that's where I found the tick on my finger, the baby tick, and I brushed it off. I didn't feel like killing it. I've killed enough bugs in my life and stepped on bugs and killed crickets and ants and whatever. So what the heck? I'll just leave that tick be so it can grow up and infect somebody with Lyme's disease. But anyway, yeah, what's the point of killing insects? Unless they're in the process of stinging you, just let them live. There was this really weird bug in my sink, and he just stayed near the hole in the sink where you stop it up and everything. And this bug was there the night before, and I just let him be, and I thought he might have wanted some water, but it was kind of a weird bug. It was like a cross between a cricket and a stink bug. But, this bug kind of had personality, but the next morning he was still there. And then later on he disappeared, so I don't know where he went. I don't even know if he had wings, but he had long legs, kind of a weird thing. But anyway, life is so predictable, and I heard this quote the other day. I don't believe I have mentioned this quote, but the quote was, if you aren't an optimist in your 20s, you don't have a heart. But if you are an optimist after 40, you don't have a brain. And I thought that was really good, and it's really true. But, just like everybody else, I was like an optimist or hopeful, or I thought things would change. I thought the world could change, and I thought I could change the world in my 20s and even 30s. Yeah, even 30s. But, the longer I live, and it's just more of the same. And I went to the store today and got some soup, and I got some pies, They had some pies that looked really good, but, you know, it's just same old bullshit. Yeah, they tried to double bag my groceries, and I didn't want a double bag. And then this woman puts rubber bands around all the soup, and then she tries to put another bag, a paper bag, around the soup that was rubber banded. So she was like overcompensating for the, wrapping process. And I hate these paper bags. I like plastic because it may not be good for the environment, but I use them as doggy bags, and I use them to store things, and I use them as trash can liners. So they have a use for me. But those plastic bags with the stupid handles like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods uses, they're useless. They're garbage. And they break. And they get wet. And they tear. So, you can just predict that they're going to break. But, I've mentioned before that I actually had antinatalist feelings maybe as young as 16. Because after my parents' divorce, then came along step-parents, and the step-parents were not very good to us. And it was obvious that they didn't care about our lives. They cared about the partners that they were marrying, and we were just were extra baggage. And we came with the entire package, the marriage package. So we weren't appreciated or cared for. It was clear that the step parents just were waiting for us to grow up and 18 and 21, move out, get the hell out. And, so, I saw the scenario of life portray itself in negative manners way back when. And I think what really bothers me now is that it's just more of the same day in and day out. And when I was getting my groceries, I got a little bit more than expected, but only like one bag full. There's a couple of pies that captured my interest. I've been sort of into pies lately, and I have gained weight as a result. But I'm telling you, these pies were really good. I had a peach pie. I like berries. I love berries. Anything red and rich. But, so there was a line. There was a line at the Express and Whole Foods. And, I'm congested. I don't feel good. I have this drainage. My throat is sore. I'm weak. I'm tired. I feel like shit. And last night, I took NyQuil to get some sleep. People in foreign countries don't know about NyQuil, and people in the UK, they don't even have NyQuil. I don't think it's allowed. They don't allow it. Whatever it is in it, but the UK sells codeine over the counter, but they don't sell NyQuil. But NyQuil, as far as I know, it's not addictive or anything, but it is a liquid or a pill form. And it really ensures a good night's sleep if you're sick. And you'll go to sleep within an hour of taking it. It's a terrible concoction. They call it cherry flavored, but I pinch my nose. I go like this when I drink it so I don't smell it. And my olfactory senses are really sensitive. Like, I can smell things that others can't smell. And so I try to avoid that taste and that smell by pinching my nose when I drink the syrup. But anyway, it does ensure really, really good sleep. It's like the ketamine of sleep, I guess. And they also sell it for sleeping, like insomnia. They sell the product without the cough medicine and stuff inside it just for sleeping. So it's become really popular. But anyway, yeah, the last thing I needed today was a line in the Express to buy like 6 or 7 items that I purchase. And, you know, even with you're sick, even if you are able to enjoy food or TV or the internet or anything, it just sucks being sick. And everybody is going to get sick. I can't imagine the guilt I would have if I had a child or children and I had to watch them go through viruses and coughs and asthma and allergies and or possibly cancer or, you know, juvenile diabetic situations or seizures. You know, I mean, I feel guilty about, you know, stepping on the bugs. And, but bringing a life into the world that is sure to suffer, it's just truly evil. And everybody knows that their child will cry, shed blood, sweat, and tears. And, you know, children get a lot of colds. And they get a lot of vaccines, too. And vaccines don't feel very good either, do they? And dental treatments. Yeah. Being a child, we all had, you know, cavities and, you know, Novocaine in our gums. And that's torture. And so there's so many life tortures. But, you know, I am so woke now. I am so awakened with the senses and the understanding of antinatalism and the philosophy of prevention of harm, but it doesn't help me to be woke. It actually makes life even worse, the fact that I am aware and the awareness was ignited at the beginning of Facebook. Even though I was probably, you know, born an antinatalist, or at least developed one through my my upbringing and my family, and, you know, the lack of supportiveness or financial supportiveness that I felt when I was growing up. We weren't poor by any means, not at all, but our family just sort of disenfranchised us kids. And as soon as we became of age, they were ready to have us gone. They did not really care for family connectiveness beyond the childhood years when they had ultimate control of us kids. And yeah, I saw this with my cousins too. I actually saw some things. And I actually saw abuse with a particular cousin. And he had bedwetting problems, you know, when he was older, like older than a toddler. And I can't remember exactly what happened, but in the 60s, there was some kind of a shock treatment or something, or some kind of bed shock system that if your child wet the bed, that you would put this on the sheets or something and it would shock the child. And that was used on my cousin. And then I believe they threatened to hang the wet sheets up over his window. And, you know, I was like maybe 14 when I heard that, or maybe younger, and I knew that was cruel. I knew that was just really fucked up, really bad of any parent to do that. And, yeah, man, my brother, he was kind of, you know, my dad also kind of picked on my brother because my brother was kind of feminine looking, but not really. I mean, not any way near feminine looking like, some men do today, but he was light skinned and fair. He had blonde hair and blue eyes, and, he wasn't tall for a guy. And so my dad was more of a He-Man kind of a guy, dark hair, good looking, strong build, strong shoulders, hairy, hairy chest, hairy legs. And my brother wasn't. And so my brother, got called names by my dad, typical misogynistic names like sissy and that kind of thing. But, I've seen so much of life, and but I don't appreciate it. And I wish my parents could take the fall. I wish they were the ones to suffer my illnesses, my viruses, downfalls, whatever, because they deserve it. I don't deserve to take the fall from their actions and their sex act and subsequent conception and birth was not something that I approved of, and I didn't have a choice in the matter. But I'm the one left to suffer, day in, day out, get up, get dressed, eat, do your regular chores, put gas in the car, put salt down on the driveway, brush snow off your window. And it really sucked because when I was at Whole Foods, it just had a little bit more snow, but just enough snow to cover my windows. And I couldn't see out the windows. So I had to roll the windows down, and then snow came into the car because I didn't have a brush, a snow brush to flake the snow off my car. So, with the seasons in the Northeast and, parts of the country that do have snow, we, have a lot more seasonal issues and a lot more seasonal work. We have a lot of leaves to rake and, snowfall, and we probably get more viruses up here, more common colds and flu. I've only had the flu twice in my life, but it was totally miserable. Couldn't even get up, just so extremely weak. But, being woke is not helpful to those with awareness. And it's better to just have stayed young and dumb and unenlightened. And, I feel like the older I get, the more woke I get. But some people, I don't think, ever get this enlightenment and awareness. And, some people who work in fields where they should be aware, and I won't mention any names particularly, but the medical profession is certainly one of them. They should be very, very woke, but they're not. And people in the medical profession have a lot of kids, and they routinely impregnate and deliver children and become parents. And, it's just appalling. Being in a state of self-actualization and understanding all around you and understanding yourself and being emotionally intelligent does not help anybody. So if people could produce children who never become enlightened or aware and full of awareness, that is the ultimate situation. But, my parents were not woke, and they created me. And so, a person who's woke could create a child who will never become aware and understanding of reality and life and its pointlessness. But the more woke I am, the more disappointed I am. And it all is a result of being placed into existence and or from my life being gambled with by my parents. And they can never be forgiven. One cold is bad enough as a child, and having, Vicks vapor rub put on your chest or your back, or your mother plugging in a humidifier, or, various cold fixes and remedies. One cold is enough, but having 58 years of 2 colds per year, and with seasonal allergies and a flu here and there, it's just, ridiculous. Suffering is pointless. There's no point in suffering. And the natalist or the Christians like to say, suffering will make you appreciate the good times. No, it does not. It makes me hate existence, because suffering is predictable and everybody is going to suffer and age and get disease and die. So, contrary to what natalists believe, feeling bad just makes you feel bad. It robs you of productivity, and it robs you of time that could be spent enjoying life or producing something. Like, if I weren't sick right now, I would probably be, I do have an adjustable bed, so I could prop myself up and paint, but I just don't feel good. I feel like shit. And like everything is colored by this virus cold. My throat feels thick. My nose is congested. My eyes, if you can see, they're watery. No, I'm not drunk. I'm not drinking. And I don't have NyQuil or any cold medication, but the eyes just get glossy when you're sick. And I'm weak. I'm depressed and down. So, being sick just takes away chunks of your life. There's no good in suffering. There's no reward. There's no bonus points. You're not going to get a better spot in heaven, or God's not looking out for you because you were sick, because everybody gets sick. And whether it's a cold, or whether it's a bladder infection, or I don't know, nasal problems, or sinus infection, or scratched cornea. It's just never-ending amounts of suffering in your life. And if you were to actually keep a diary, keep notes of your daily feelings and your sufferings, you would probably come up with a host on any given day, regardless of aches and pains, or hunger, or a ripped nail, or a stubbed toe. And everything needs to be healed. If you get a bruise. And the other day, I looked on my thigh, and I've got so many bruises, and I don't know where they came from, unless it was at the place that I've been going. I don't know if I hit into trees, or I don't know, but but everything has to heal. So it's not the initial trauma of the cut or the bruise or the scrape, but then there's a healing process and scarification. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that most of the people who watch my video are woke. And they have entered a realm of enlightenment and awareness. And this awareness makes them good preachers. It makes them good witnesses. It makes them good advocates for antinatalism. But it doesn't help them because they feel more, they see more, they predict bad things, and they have less hope. But such is life. Being woke is being fully aware. It's not having delusions. And the natalist mindset is full of delusions. That horrible coughing noise is one of my dogs, and she has a heart valve condition. She's on 4 different medications. So, I was going to make another video about that, but she's a happy little thing. But, she's obviously declining in health. And for any natalist, for any parent to think that there are remedies for their children in case they get sick or get cancer or need medical assistance, they are so very wrong. Medicine hardly works. And her coughing is an example of how medicine doesn't work. I was at the ER for 4 hours, the vet ER, $700, came home with 4 different medications. She was in the oxygen unit for a little bit, but it's not really necessary because she's not out of breath or air. It's just that the heart valve is pumping in a way, and the heart is enlarged, and she's coughing because of fluid. Yeah, I've gone through this before with dogs, and lots of small dogs have heart conditions. But for any natalist to think that there is a surgical cure or an over-the-counter remedy or a prescription medication for your child, if they were to get sick, you are so full of shit. Medication usually doesn't work very well, or it has horrific side effects. And sometimes it doesn't work at all. And sometimes you become allergic or addicted to your prescription medication. So there's no reason to bring a life into the world because your progeny will just suffer. It's guaranteed to suffer. And the suffering will not be appreciated. Suffering will rob them of their productivity and their progress. And don't believe any Bible verse that says, suffering builds character or is important for your growth. It's not important. It sabotages you. So thank you for watching my video. And please subscribe if you already haven't.